I've been so lost, waiting to squeeze the da-da-da-down juice from your mind.
So, you've probably all been wondering, what is this boat going to look like when we're done? It's probably quite important to viewership that you actually know what's going to happen. So let me take you through what is planned for the final product and what the next few steps are. If you take a look on my screen here, you'll see a rather rudimentary rendering that I've done on SketchUp. This is pretty much what you can expect to see at the end of this build. We have the general shape of the boat, as you can see, it's kind of like a sausage. We have upstairs and a downstairs. It is fully my intention to raise this roof, raise it higher at the front end here, come down about a foot and have the back end also raised still just to give us more headroom, and then build a second floor on the back end here. So this is going to be about 7.5 meters by 3.5 meters, and it will act as our kitchen, dining space with 360 views of the outside, which you have seen the perspex that we've so beautifully carried onto the boat. Probably the last video actually. This is what the perspex is for. It's going to create each of these individual windows. Those will be hopefully modular so that if we ever need to take this top end down to fit under a lower bridge, it will be able to do that. It may take a little while to do that, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it? That is what you can expect to see on the top. We're going to have a lovely kitchen built in here, a nice center island, and to those keen eyes out there, you may have noticed that is a very, very good rendering of a ship's wheel. So this kitchen upstairs will act as our wheelhouse as well as our kitchen diner. So should we ever need to move the boat around, which we will regularly, this will be where we stand, just at the back of this kitchen island, pootling along. I don't know whether I'll have it detachable or not, so you can take the wheel off when you need to. I like the idea of it just being there as a reminder that you're in a ship and this is the helm. I think it's cool. I think it's very cool. So then we'll have a nice staircase going down. I'm going to keep it nice and open, like you see, as many gaps in it as you can, so that we're letting as much natural light down through here as we possibly can. I'm also going to install a skylight, but not a skylight. It'll be a big glass panel on the floor here so that you can see up people's trouser legs, basically, when you're downstairs, but also so that we can let more natural light in through the 360 view upstairs, let some of that natural light penetrate down into the room below. Because as you see here, this lower section, you see the gully around the edge of the boat here, that obviously won't move. This distance that we have from here to here is not big enough to house the windows that we've bought. So it's going to be difficult to add windows along this little edge here, which will mean that there won't be so much natural light penetrating down into the back section of the boat. So what we're going to use this back section for, about here, this line that you see is where the current engine room wall is. That will be removed so that this is open. But from about here towards the back of the boat will be used as a cinema room. Cinema, film, TV is very important to me, my friends, and Meghan. You know, we all work within TV and film and watch lots of it. So it's an important thing to have in the house. We also like to game, Meghan and I, we game a lot together. So you can probably see I'm somewhat of a musical creative, so music and sound is very important. I have an abundance of speakers around the house, and one of those is an incredible surround sound system and a great cinema experience when you enter my living room. That will transfer to the boat. Absolutely. Towards the back of the boat here, there isn't currently a wall here, but that is sort of where the ship tails up with its back end. We're going to use that space as much as we can. So I will build a wall and we're going to have that back end of the boat as our utility cupboard, essentially. So there'll be a washing machine. We'll have our battery storage in there, the water tank in there. I'm going to relocate the diesel tank in there as well. We'll probably have a separate kerosene storage, maybe at the front of the boat, potentially at the back. We'll see how much space we have to play with. So then working our way through, you know, this will just be a large open space which we can have various different things in, a lounge, maybe a table to do some work and stuff like that, a little workspace, but generally just a nice, warm, welcoming area full of plants, lots of greenery, comfortable, somewhere that people will feel good being in. You've got the upstairs area where you can be seen and you can see everything around you. And then you've got the downstairs area, which is a little more comfortable and cozy, but also very cool. And then finally, towards the end of the boat, now this is the taller section, and I've been having second thoughts about what we do here. Now, originally designing this, I put in boxed rooms. So we would have our spare bedroom, which also acts as a complete soundproofed room for studio. One of the things I've found in this studio specifically is that a lack of light and windows and just a very uninspiring space really inhibits my creative juice. So it's good to have somewhere which is soundproof and you can record in, but it also needs to be a comfortable and inviting and warm space. It's to be seen what we do with this room, but Meghan likes the idea of having a spare bedroom, which we don't have here. You know, when you have guests over, it's nice for them to have somewhere to stay. So we need to think about that. The next room along will be a bathroom, so that'll have a nice big walk-in shower. We'll have a toilet and sink in there and general bathroom stuff. Nice and close to the bedroom. And then this will be our bedroom. It will mostly consist of a bed and maybe a couple of side tables and a few bits and bobs, but realistically we have a huge bed. It's a very, very nice Ottoman Super King, which will sit in the middle, and then either side of that bed will be a doorway here and a doorway here, which would take us into the front end of the boat, which again, similar to the back end, is too low down to use as functional space, but we can use it for, you know, spaces that we don't need to be in for long periods of time. I'm going to lower the floor as much as I can in there, raise the ceiling as much as I can, you know, make it as high up as I can so that we can stand up in there, and it will be our large walk-in wardrobe. So that's what you can expect to see in the end of the boat. So that's pretty much the designs. That's what you can expect to see throughout this build. That's what we're going to try and raise over the next few months. But first and foremost, we have to work out how we are going from this metal structure here of the boat into this timber structure and this raised roof. Oh, and by the way, this will be a large outdoor space, decked area. This will all be decked. It'll be lined with EPDM rubber membrane underneath and then decking on the top. So it'll be totally waterproof, which is why it can be flat. There'll be a couple of steps leading up to it, and then it'll just have outside stuff. This is how we plan to go from metal framing and the metal wall into a stud wall that I can insulate and plasterboard over, just like you would in a house. The white section you see at the bottom is the current hull of the boat, just above the gully. This is what we have about 50 centimeters of. These will be our timber studs, and I was toying with the idea of screwing these studs into the metal framing, but it would just take so long to achieve. Drilling holes through, I don't really want to do that. You'll burn through a whole lot of drill bits doing that, and you know, you're playing with fire, aren't you? Poking holes in a boat, regardless of whether it's above the waterline or not. I'd rather not. So this is my intention. This is one side of a joist hanger, just your average joist hanger that you'd find in most buildings. The ones I've bought are 22 by 5 centimeters. So this is a 22 here. This line here is 22 centimeters high and they're 5 centimeters across. They will act as the support for the sway by being as tall as they are, and they'll also support the up and down. They'll take the weight. There'll be a couple of screws going into each timber frame, and then this will be welded down the inside and down the outside of the joist hanger, welding it directly onto the face of the hull. They will hold on pretty damn sturdy, I am sure, and that will hold up the roof. But what I'll be doing every couple of batons will be a mild steel box section, which will really hold the roof up. And then we'll frame our windows similar to like where it is here, and then doubling up on big joists across the top. That is what you can expect to see over the next few weeks. The next few episodes, I will be working this stuff out, hopefully welding on some joist hangers, and then I will begin with the process of raising a roof and giving us a bit more headroom and something just a little bit different. So please keep your eyes on the videos and subscribe if you haven't already, so you can keep up to date with everything that we're doing. The journey is a good fun one. I hope you're all enjoying the ridiculousness of this build and us just absolutely winging it as we go along. I feel like I've done a place already. I've built a house. It's much simpler building a house, let me tell you. Everything is much more difficult doing this on a metal boat, but it is what it is. Please do keep your eye out for our next video, because I'm telling you now, they're going to get more interesting as time goes on. I know we've just been polishing the turd for a couple of weeks and, sort of just gutting the thing and pulling things out and staring at walls for long periods of time, trying to work out what's going on next. But things are looking up. And as soon as this new roof is on, then things will speed up. We thank you very much for paying attention to these videos and being involved in the journey. And ciao bella.
Keep it up, heart of gold, I never touched, I undersold. I said too much, went untold. I covered up, let it go. Keep it up, heart of gold, I never touched, I undersold. I said too much, went untold. I covered up, let it go. Oh, let it go.